Good morning, members of the media and other distinguished guests. We want to thank everybody for being out here today, this beautiful day, and hopefully a good start to a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. How fitting it is that we would be this close to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and our Fort Campbell here with our soldiers. This Memorial Day, a day when we honor those who have given their life for our freedoms and for our country. Monday, May the 18th, marked the beginning of our Click It or Ticket campaign. This campaign is not only an enforcement event that takes place here in Clarksville and Middle Tennessee, but all over Tennessee, Kentucky, and other surrounding states. Tonight, agencies from both Kentucky and Tennessee will participate in what's called Hands Across the Border. This year, we have already made some great strides in seatbelt usage. Last year, at this time, we had lost 138 of our fatalities that were unrestrained. This year, that number's down to 118. While that's too many, it's still progress, and we're thankful so much for that progress. This year, we were also able in the state of Tennessee to increase our seatbelt rate to almost 88%. While that's a good number, and we're proud of that, we still see that over 50% of our fatalities don't wear their seatbelt. So when you do the math, what that means is that 12% of the people are responsible for over half the fatalities on our roadway. Over this Memorial Day weekend, as we engage in our Click It or Ticket enforcement event, it is our intention to make sure that you stay safe, that you get to spend a safe Memorial Day holiday with your friends and family. There are a lot of things we're doing throughout Middle Tennessee and throughout Tennessee to make it a better, greater, safer place, and I know that Kentucky is doing that as well. For the next 2 weeks, there will be people all over Tennessee and law enforcement and all over other parts of the country who will be out in force, making sure that we drive responsibly and carefully and with regard to other motorists on the highways. Our goal is to see that you arrive alive and spend the most precious, responsible time that you can with your families who deserve the best that you can give them. As you see us out on the roadways, please remember to move over. And also keep in mind that our efforts over these next few weeks will not be to see how much we can do in the way of writing citations and making arrests, but will be how many people we can make sure remain alive through this holiday and safe from injury accidents. We have a lot of people here today, and I want to be sure not to ever leave anybody out, but as you can see, we are very blessed to have the Kentucky State Police here. Oak Grove, Christian County Sheriff level is here with us. We have people here from the DA's office, our DA prosecutor Karen Willis, Sherry Murphy, who is our DUI coordinator, and the Tennessee Highway Patrol, Clarksville Police Department, Montgomery Sheriff's Department, so many here today. One person that I will have come to the podium next is one who is very passionate about highway safety. Many of the things that you see, many of the things that you will hear throughout this holiday is a result of great leadership in our office. And I have been working with him for in excess of 10 years now, and I appreciate his leadership, I appreciate his passion, and I'm so thankful that myself and others behind me get to be a part of that, and that is Director Kendall Poole.
Thanks, Tony. And let me thank Tony too for providing wonderful leadership in Middle Tennessee. He's given us that continuity with all of our partners to make sure that everyone arrives at their destination safely. In the Governor's Highway Safety Office, we are tasked with changing the culture and changing driver behavior, and we're measured by the numbers of lives lost or by the numbers of lives that we're able to save on our roadways 365 days a year. And it's important that we recognize on Memorial Day weekend, not only is it the Click It or Ticket enforcement campaign, but it's the kickoff to our summer driving season. Ordinarily, when the weather is better, we see more fatalities on Tennessee's roadways in the better weather months, in the warmer months, when more people are out there driving, and we believe that it doesn't have to be that way. Now, we've made great progress over the last 10 years in reducing fatalities in the state of Tennessee. In fact, we're down by more than a third. But again, we're still over 900, and that's too many. And when you start talking about Click It or Ticket, it means seatbelt usage. You've already heard that our rate is at an all-time high in Tennessee, and that's great. But just think about what we could do if we got 2, 3, 4, 5 more percentage points of folks to buckle up. To think about how many more lives that we would save. And let's talk about pickup trucks just for a minute. When you measure the different demographics of vehicles on the roadways and those not buckling up, pickup trucks simply come in lower than anybody else. And we've got to make sure that folks in pickup trucks buckle up. They're much easier to roll over, whether that crash is your fault or not, whether you're driving roads that you're comfortable with, maybe you've been driving them your entire life. It's your best deterrent in the event of a crash, again, whether that crash is your fault or not. Everything that we do across the state of Tennessee is based on partnerships. And as Tony said, the men and women behind us, from the sheriff's offices to the local law enforcement to the police departments to the DA's office and John Carney and the great work that they do in helping us prosecute these DUI cases, they all help to change driver behavior. And we've been all across the state of Tennessee this week. And Tony, we saved the best for last today on Friday in press conferences for Memorial Day weekend. But I want you to know that this holds true throughout the year. Every single day of the year, the men and women behind me and the departments that they represent make sure that you are safe, that you arrive at your destination safely. And at the end of the day, we'd love to be able to say, we set all kinds of records for low numbers of fatalities this year, and we're on our way to doing that. But we've got to keep the pressure on, and it's enforcement working together with education. We can do all the booze it and lose it, click it or ticket messages that we want to do, and that's no good unless we've got enforcement to back that up. It's those two things working together that help change that culture. One of the things that we've done this year to help change that culture that coincides with the Click It or Ticket campaign is there's going to be a change in our seatbelt fine beginning January 1 of next year. The seatbelt fine for not wearing your seatbelt will more than double. And we want to make sure that it becomes another deterrent. In other words, encourages people to wear their seatbelts because we know it's going to help save more lives. We want to continue to provide the tools and resources to all of these departments that we need in the state of Tennessee. As evidence behind us, the DUI enforcement trailer from Clarksville PD that you see behind us is directly as a result of grant funds from the Governor's Highway Safety Office. And again, it's the tools and resources that these departments need in their communities, in their jurisdictions, that we're able to help provide to save lives. I want to congratulate all of our partners from Kentucky. I know that we're participating with you guys in Hands Across the Border tonight. We'll be with Mississippi and Georgia, and there's going to be checkpoints all across the state, actually in all 4 of our regions, East, Middle, West, and the Cumberland region, in an effort to bring light to what continues to be a problem we've been able to attack successfully, but again, it remains a problem, and that's why we're here today as we kick off Memorial Day and the summer driving season. Thank you to our media partners for being here today. We could not get this message out without you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kendall. We have do have a lot of partners here today. One department that always does what they can to keep their citizens safe on the roadways throughout Montgomery County is the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. And at this time, we would welcome Chief Deputy John Smith to the podium to speak for Montgomery County.
Thank you, Tony and Director Poole, for those comments. Also want to thank all the law enforcement and the members of the media who've come out here today. The Governor's Highway Safety Office does an effective job of letting the public know what the mission is, and I think our law enforcement does an effective job at enforcing the law and supporting these programs, and we do that within the Sheriff's Office. The main goal is to save lives. But the end result that I think is most important is an improved quality of life. It's a quality of life for our communities that you live in and law enforcement behind us lives in and their families live in. And I think that's the big motivating factor, is an improved quality of life means that people want to live here, they want to move here, but we've got to have effective enforcement. Within the Sheriff's Office, we're deploying extra people on the road this evening or for the entire weekend. We're very proud to participate in these programs, and we think that we've made good use of the resources as well as the other law enforcement officers and the agencies represented here. The support we get from the Highway Safety Office allows us to do things that we would not ordinarily do. And also want to thank the teams of prosecutors. We do our job in enforcing the laws and arresting offenders, but it also takes a commitment from the district attorneys and prosecutors across the states, nationwide, to ensure that these individuals are properly prosecuted and fair enforcement of these laws takes place. We have a commitment to this community, and we're here to make sure that we've got the right people working the right schedules and supporting the right programs. And we're just looking forward to a very safe holiday weekend and a safe summer. Schools are turning out over the next few days, and we know there's going to be more traffic on the roadways, and we're also stepping up our enforcement for those all the extra youth on the roadway. And I think we know what youthful exuberance means when they get behind the wheel of a car. They experience that freedom for the first time, but also many juveniles that don't watch their speed and that don't wear their seat belts also suffer the consequences. And we want to make sure we can do whatever we can to reduce those accidents and those injuries and hopefully save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Smith. We have never failed to have such great participation from the Kentucky side of the border, and I appreciate Greg Dennison with the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety and the Kentucky State Police for being here. And at this time, we will hear from Trooper Recchi from the Kentucky State Police. Trooper Recchi.
Thank you. Folks, I want to thank you all for coming out. The Memorial Day holiday is typically the beginning of our summer driving season, and with the big influx in traffic, not just only in Kentucky, but nationwide, there's a greater chance for traffic fatalities and injuries. Now, no matter what campaign it is, whether it's click it or ticket, whether it's drive sober or get pulled over, it's nice when we can partner with other agencies who all have one goal in common. Our goal is to make a positive difference in people's lives and to save lives. It's pretty simple, and yet it's hard to do. You try the education aspect and you try the enforcement, and they go hand in hand. And when you do details like we're going to do tonight, it's not about numbers, it's about making a positive difference in people's lives. And that's why we're here today. I want to thank you all for coming, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, Trooper. You could just about throw a rock from here to the state line. State lines say a lot when it comes to territory. But over the Memorial Day and throughout the summer, there's one thing that border does not change. And that's the desire, the passion, and the efforts that will be made to see to it that people drive responsibly. So first of all, thank you for being here today. And remember, if you don't wear your seatbelt, you're in our sights. Because we want to be sure that your family doesn't have an empty spot, that the Memorial Day season can be about its intended purpose, which is those who have given their lives for our freedom. If you drive responsibly by speeding, driving under the influence, or driving distracted, we're looking for you as well. All across the great state of Tennessee, all across the great state of Kentucky, our goal will be to make all the efforts we can to reduce fatalities and injury accidents. That's why it's called Click It or Ticket. We believe that seatbelts save lives, and that is our mission today, and we want that to be very, very clear. That's why the people you see behind me that are here today will sacrifice time with their families, times when others will have fun and be celebrating. Their boots will be on the ground, looking for those who might greatly interrupt somebody else's holiday by being irresponsible. So, with that being said, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend, and please drive responsibly. That concludes our press event. At this time, if you have any questions for any of those that are standing here with us, please feel free to do so at this time. Thank you. Thank you for being here.